Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and today is a Monday. Hope your week is starting off great for those of you who start your week on a Monday. Your work week, I should say. My week starts on a Saturday and ends on a Sunday. Anyway, yes, hope it's fantastic. I'm doing a couple of things right now really quick because so I'm working on a remote system, and the thing that keeps happening is that remote system gets removed from the network, or the network cable is borrowed from it for the person that has it hooked up for me, and that means that it becomes suddenly unavailable. And I'm working on this issue that I'm still needing to diagnose, and I can't install Visual Studio on that machine, so I'm trying to create a build that has various diagnostics output for me so that I can maybe have a better guess at what's going on with it. And yeah, that takes a while. It takes like 30 minutes between builds. Save. Nope. Click. And so they just got it back up and running for me. Hello. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? It's Apocalypse. Thank you so much, Apocalypse, for those bits. Good morning. Thank you for waking us up. That was perfect. Needed that. Salary game. You got paid. Well, definitely don't have to waste all your bits on us. Use all your bits on us. But I appreciate it. And I'll be none the wiser. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for hiccups. Anyone else want to look for hiccups with me? Say no. Where is my multi-stream? Where did you go? Where did you go? Tied to a lasso. Could you run to? Could you run to? Could you go on running to me? Hello, Abadus. Abadouse. Abadus. Abados. Abadus. Okay, I'm done. You done downloading? Instalar, por favor. Switch between Spanish and English. I mean Spanish and Spanglish. Okay, well that's it's installed. While that's starting up, I am going to take us, or first find out what screen you're trying to display. You are displaying the correct screen, so let's go to desktop. And here we are. So on our stream lately, we have been working on a redesign for the stream project. Here is a link to the project itself. It is open source. You can check it out on my GitHub. Feel free to contribute if you want. No requirements, no expectations, just if you feel like it. But what I wanted to do now that we have the core functionality and just the overall app itself running decently is redesign it. So let's create some new designs, make it look better, and at the same time learn how to do design, because I have wanted to increase my abilities, my skills, and my knowledges, which I said backwards, or somewhat backwards, mixed Latin. What did I miss? Not much. I'm talking about needing to set up, or working on a system for work that someone else set up for me that I am trying. That's not the right install. Egnabbit. Did I install the wrong build? That's what I get for paying attention. This one, Windows 11 SE. So I have a Windows 11 SE issue where when our app is run on an SE machine, it does weird stuff. And I'm trying to fix that. And I downloaded the wrong one. Open folder, the wrong build. Delete and delete. And so I need to install that one so I could test it. And the machine that I'm testing on is remote. Someone has it hooked up to their network and I am logging into it remotely, but they keep using that network cable for other machines that they need to work on and do their job on. So I don't blame them, but at the same time, can't really troubleshoot when the workstation is not on the network. You know what I'm saying? Because I sure don't. So then the other thing that I started talking about is what we've been doing on our stream. We have a basic design for our app and I'm starting to not like it as much. So I'm wanting to do a real design on it. And since we have the app already created, we can see it running, we can interact with it. It works pretty nicely. I know what components exist. And so I started creating those as actual Figma components. And that's what all of this is. So we have a bunch of cards, card styles. We have our hero with various font colors, I guess. It's just light and dark font color with various opacities. And yeah, and that. So what I'm wanting to do now that we have put together all of this stuff, oh, and buttons, is to actually come up with a good design, because I want to learn how to do design. I'd rather not say it's not VNC. I mean, it might be VNC under the hood, but it's not. Straight VNC. But yeah. What would I recommend? I don't know, honestly. If it's a Windows system, why not RDP on a VPN? For my home stuff, like for being able to log into my home computers from away, I use Jump Desktop and I like it. They, however, discontinued their support for being able to connect to your desktop from your mobile phone. And I'm really annoyed at that because the phone app cost money. So really, really annoying. Yeah, so at home, try Jump Desktop for free. See how that works out for you. For Windows to Windows, I think it might cost money going from Mac to Windows or Windows to Mac. But it's free. And it uses your Google account. Yeah, PC to real VNC. I've used it before. I used to use that one specifically, just real VNC, back in 2004, 2005, along with DynDNS. Do you remember DynDNS? It might still be a thing, but it used to be free. Yeah, so Jump Desktop also does have RDP and VNC allowed on your mobile, but it would be really, really nice if I could just get back to my desktop using, what do they call it? Fluid? I think they call it Fluid connection. Oh, are we downloaded? Can I install? Reinstall. I really don't get why we don't just use constantly incrementing value for our dev version numbers, because we don't know how. It's not going to automatically launch for me this time. Come on. Anyway, so yeah, that's where we're at. We're kind of color coordinated ish. Here's our grayscale version of our colors, so that when we put together the UI, we're gonna try to take this approach that I saw, where we're not really concerned about the actual colors, but more the shades of colors, the hues, not the hues, the brightness, lightness, whatever. Anyway, we're going to use more grayish colors, and then we'll replace those colors with our actual app colors once we decide which ones we're going to go with. So we'll create an actual color palette. These are just options that I came up with not too long ago, maybe 196 streams ago, 97 streams ago. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. But that's where we're at. Kind of scared. I don't really know what to do. Right, I was gonna try FigJam. Do I have any way to get to... Oh yeah, it's here. I haven't even saved it. I was gonna try FigJam to see what that's like, to come up with ideas for how to create the UI. What kinds of functionality? I mean, we know what functionality is there, but has anyone used Mural or FigJam or any of these other idea boards for doing UI design? I'd like to know your impressions and how to improve at it. Continue. Okay, yeah, so my PCs still don't show up on my phone because they turned off that access ability, which is really, really dumb. And I like how Microsoft are streaming on Visual Studio and Microsoft Developer on Twitch. And it says .NET Conf, which doesn't start until tomorrow, but it says Student Zone. Maybe one of the reasons Mojo got confused. All right, app is running. I want to see my UI information, please. Oh, I want to see the console is what I want to see. What did I make console? Control-Shift-L. Yes. Except I didn't put a... And I can't get to DevTools. So I can't... I didn't put a scroll bar in my console output. So I have this class called Trace, or the concept of Trace. It's probably already a thing. It was there before I started using it, but I am now writing console information to this trace, which is an object that I can pass around and then output the values of in my UI somewhere. So I have a debug UI that has a console output, and now I'm getting pretty much all of the stuff I would see in the console if you had a debugger attached. Man, but I forgot to give it a scroll bar. That's gonna be another 30-minute build. Oh, can I control F for... And I can't scroll. That was dumb. That was so dumb. Okay, well that's going to be fun to figure out. Just writing a note on that machine so that the person who takes the cable from it and disconnects it and everything whatever that means to them. All right, so I am here finally, 20 minutes in. So here we are. We're going to go through more designing, like I said, and I don't know. I don't really know how to use an idea board for UI design, UI UX design. This looks like we're coming up for ideas for how to create the actual application, but no, I mean, like, we're coming up with ideas for what to improve. And these are great. These are fantastic selection options. So this was all generated by this button up here, I'm pretty sure, where you type in a prompt and then it generates all this stuff for you. Especially since I really don't know how to get started with this. This was fantastic. Okay, so that gives us a good idea on what we want to improve, and this is correct. I want the visual hierarchy, so the layout of menu, main window, headers, or not main window, main area, headers, articles, etc. So that's one thing to do. Color scheme, and then mobile. Because when I designed the app, I was just going straight forward. Here's a desktop app. So if you haven't actually seen the app before, here it is really, really quick, which it's already running on report. I'm not going to be able to find the port easily. We're just going to stop and restart. Okay, so this is our landing page-ish. Hello, Master Rat. Amazing developer yourself. Hope you're having a fantastic day. As you can see, we have this calculator thing. I just kind of threw it up there, so it needs to go somewhere correct that it should be. Not just sitting up there in the whatever this section is, because it's not even a nav menu. It's just this kind of spacer top bar that I had planned on putting something in, but I had no idea what. Here is our main splash, or hero splash screen. I have splash screen on the mine too. Here's our main hero section. Gives us some kind of, this is what our website is, what this web app is. Here's a graphic. Here's a cool tagline, and then maybe a login form. We haven't implemented anything to do with needing to be logged in. This is kind of intended to be run on your local machine with your local resources, and you track your accounts, you keep them secure yourself. But if I were to publish this in some way, then we would want some kind of way to protect your information from anyone else getting access to. So we would have some kind of authentication and authorization system set up, aka identity. Anyway, then we have this track, get started, even though this should probably say find out more, because get started would mean sign up for an account, or it could just take you to this screen. Watch your money grow, which could take you to, I don't know, learn more. And then plan your future savings and spending. This probably shouldn't be there because we haven't actually implemented anything that will do forecasting or just showing you charts and stuff. Yeah, the only thing you can really do is track. It's great. It's fantastic. So right now, the only way to get to your data entry portion is through the footer, clicking on this, being able to do stuff. Here's all of my tracked accounts. Here's how I can enter payments, deposits, transfers. Here's how I can maintain the drop-down list values. And then here are all of my transactions. Here are my transactions by account. Cool. You can actually click anywhere off of it. Transactions by account, which will filter out the transactions that you've entered based off of which account you're clicking. Sure to use my chat charge a lot. $2022. One monetary unit. I don't have a way to display monetary units or anything like that either. These buttons work for being able to edit and delete lines, transaction lines, change whether it's pending or not. Yeah. So this is what we want to redesign. And that's why we're here. We want better colors, better visual hierarchy, optimize the layout for mobile. I like those. I like those a lot. So how to do. Revamp the process of adding, updating, and removing financial accounts to make it more intuitive and user-friendly. Again, it got this entire thing here from the prompt that I gave it to generate this. I wish there was a way for me to show the original prompt that generated this. Do you have a history? So anyway, whatever AI system they're using is the one that generated this for me. And that's why we're reading through it. Oh, so. Okay. This say current account management process. Log in. Navigate to account management section. Look, there is no account management section. So we need to update this, which is navigate to the, yeah, right now the only place that we have it, come over here. The only place that we have it is right here in the payments. We don't even have it in deposits and we don't have it in transfers. We have a little wafer crosshair button that's for adding a new account. Not even in the list management. Yeah, it's not even there. The end. I'm giggling a lot. It's mostly because yeah. I thought, oh yeah, I have a story. I thought I would have my monitor repaired by today. I think I have a backlight issue on one of my monitors. It turns on. If I hold a flashlight up to it, I can see the ghost of an image that should be there when it's hooked up, or even when it's not hooked up. You know, you can push the menu button and you're supposed to see the menu show up on your monitor itself, even if it's not plugged into anything else but power. And no picture. It just kind of shows up for a split second and then cuts out. So that, according to all of the researches that I did, sounded like it could be a capacitor, it could be a resistor, or it could be the LEDs themselves, the backlight LEDs. And there was information about how to test each of those things. And I'm like, okay, cool. I have a multimeter. I have a screwdriver. I have a little plastic prying tool that I could use. So I thought about it some more and I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. I still would rather take it into a repair shop and have them do it. So I did that. I scheduled an appointment to take it to the repair shop and I didn't know I was scheduling an appointment. I was on their website and I was filling out this form that said, contact us. And I'm like, here's the issue that I am seeing. And I typed it all out and provided my contact information, typed it all out. And I'm like, I'm hoping that you can help me diagnose this issue. What is your rate? Can you give me a quote kind of thing? So asking for feedback in this contact us form, as well as describing the issue itself. And then I push the next button and I'm like, why does this say next? Why doesn't it say submit? So I push next and it's like, pick a time for your appointment. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'll put it out for next Saturday. And I did this last Monday. So I picked a time for Saturday and I'm like, all right, hopefully they'll get back to me on my question before then. And because I'm me, I didn't really follow up throughout the week when they hadn't gotten back to me. I'm like, okay, it's fine. They say on their website they do diagnostics for free as part of the process, so they can do the diagnostics, they can give me a quote. It'll probably be an easy in and out kind of thing. If not, I can leave my monitor there, come back home. So I get there and I wait in line for about, it's a 30-minute drive. I left on Saturday morning, drove for my 30 minutes, made it there, waiting in line for about 5-10 minutes or so, and then get up to the person that's standing at the front. So the place is like, here's 30 cameras focused on the main lobby area because, you know, we're a tech place. We need cameras. So it's a open floor. It's maybe a 30 by 30, 20 by 20 room, whatever. For those of you that know feet, it's about 20 by 20. For those of you that know meters, I don't know, 13 by 30. Is 13 meters a lot? 13 meters is a lot. It's probably more like 9 meters. I don't know. Anyway, something like that. With some seats and then this desk in the front that's just sitting there with one computer, one guy standing at it, and then a doorway that leads to the back. And everyone knows what goes on in the back. So I'm holding my monitor, walk up to him, he's like, just place it here. And I put it there. And he goes, what's wrong with it? And I'm like, I have an appointment, so notes are probably there. He's like, yeah, just let me know. And so I tell him, I think it might be the backlight, but I'm not good at doing electronics and stuff. So definitely for you guys to look at. And so he's like, well, how much did you pay for that monitor? I'm like, I don't remember. I bought it a while ago. It's like, well, the reason that I'm asking is because it's probably better if you just replace it. I'm like, okay, the research that I did said that if it's one of these things, you know, like if it's backlight related, then it could be one of these things. And it sounds like for someone that knows what they're doing, it's a pretty easy fix. And I know you guys mark up for parts and labor, and that should be fine. And he's like, well, our markup is like around $300, you know, for parts and labor. So you're probably better getting a new monitor. Like, I had to do this with my keyboard. I don't even have it over here anymore. I have another keyboard that's like this, where one of the keys got loose and I broke the little bracket that holds the key in place while trying to fix that because I'm an idiot. And I don't mean that, but you know what I mean. The keyboard itself was $100 and something. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can see if Logitech has, you know, a replacement part for that bracket area that I can just fix myself. And I'll answer you. Hello, D-Kicks. I'll answer you in like a couple seconds. Almost done with my story, promise. And if you can, while I'm waiting, can you tell me what DSA is? I'm a full stack developer and don't know what DSA is, but still, if you told me what it was, then maybe I just don't know the term. Anyway, so, oh yes, okay. I will answer that for sure then. So anyway, I contacted Logitech for my keyboard and they're like, you're just gonna have to buy a new one. And so I'm like, I really love this keyboard. And just for one key that's broken on it, I have to replace the whole keyboard? Really? So same thing here. Possibly a capacitor, possibly a resistor that's broken in it, possibly the LED strips or whatever they're called, the backlight themselves just need to be replaced, and all of the videos made it look super easy. So because of that, I bring it home after a 2-minute talk with the guy at the front desk after driving 30 minutes, waiting 10 minutes. So I bring it back home, set it aside, and then the next day, Sunday, yesterday, I was like, I'm gonna try to take it apart, do what these people in the video said. Taking apart the monitor was a pain in the katukas. That's number one. Number two, because it's a different type of monitor than the one in the video, it was put together differently and had different indicators in it, and like nothing looked like anything else. So the only thing I could really do was visually inspect it for any busted capacitors or resistors, burnt out resistors, or just anything that looked bad on the board. And I, as I'm thinking about it, I should have just taken pictures while it was open, but it was really, really interesting to see the inside of these. So I have the monitor is an Asus Q Asus Q 32Q 324. No. Monitor. 27 is what I meant to say. 27. Anyway, it's something like this. So an Asus 27-inch, and they're like, yeah, you just kind of tug at the inner edges here until it pops up. There's a whole bunch of latches around it, one screw in the back, and then when I opened it up, the boards are on this metal brace, but the metal brace isn't actually attached to anything. It's just kind of sitting there. There's a couple pieces of tape on either side. I'm sure it's really strong tape, but it's tape nonetheless. So after I finish opening it up, I'm like, how do I even get to the boards? How do I do anything? So I found out how to unscrew everything, and then eventually took it all apart. And point is, I had no idea what I was looking at. Ended up just putting it all back together, closing it up, and saying, I'm just gonna get a new monitor. So, end of the story is I bought a new monitor and I'm waiting for that. But if there is anyone that is good at doing electronic type stuff and diagnosing issues, I have a monitor that you could have for like $50. Just let me know. The other thing that would be cool is there's the one channel, the DIY channel. DIY computer. I don't know the dude's name. Not that guy. Anyway, there's this DIY perks. There's this dude that talks about what to do with broken devices, repurposing them. That'd be really cool. But no idea. But yeah, IKEA build monitor. I like that. Okay, real quick, just to respond to DKicks. You've been waiting so patiently. Thank you so much. I think it is pretty... Yes, it's pretty important to know data structures. Algorithms is just good because you will know the things that are proven and tested and the way that other people have come up with them. So you can use them as patterns for coming up with your own algorithms or to follow in general for anything that you might be considering tackling. You don't necessarily implement your own lists or graphs, or what's the other one I'm looking for? Trees. You don't really do that yourself when you're doing modern software development, unless you're at that level, like you are somewhere that needs to be highly optimized and make sure that everything is as fast as it possibly can be. For full stack development, you're typically just looking at creating your own data structures, which is just making your own classes and knowing how to break up your data so that the related objects go together and You don't have like so much data in one object that you're storing in memory that you don't necessarily need. So it is good to know, but you don't necessarily need to master how do I create a binary tree? How do I do sorting algorithms? How do I do all of these things that are usually only asked of you during interviews, unless you're possibly working for one of the FANG companies or whatever it's going to be called now. Mana? Anyway, whatever. So the point is, to be a successful full stack developer, the thing that is more important is knowing the technology that you're using. So if you're going to be a React developer, knowing the ins and outs of how to structure your React applications and your components, how to do various things in JavaScript in smart ways. That's where the algorithms come into play. It's like, what has already been done in these areas? Yeah, people grind. I did that for a Google interview, and I totally bombed the Google interview, just so you know. It was not easy. But for working at where I work currently, which is Sogeti, which is a consulting firm where we do software solutions for various clients, and now that I've mentioned their name, all of the views and opinions I express on this channel are my own and not necessarily the views and opinions of Sogeti. The interview that I had for them was more, here is a specific position that we have that we're trying to fill. What is your knowledge and experience with these technologies? Blazor for me. And so I'm very comfortable, very familiar with using Blazor. I've never used it in the situation that they were asking for because it was just coming out, which is using Blazor in a desktop application. So anyway, that was like, I knew the technology that they were asking about. I knew the concepts of how to structure an application of this type that they were asking about. So yeah, I think that's more important as a full stack developer. Can you show experience and knowledge about how to structure your application, what specific technologies you're going to be using for that job? And then maybe if it's something that really requires you to be scalable, optimized for speed, and just show that you stand out above everyone else, you can be like, hey, check out my algorithm skills. I know how to implement binary tree search. I know how to do fast sort. I know how to do all of the 6,000 different types of sorts and tell you why each one is wrong. Long answer to a short question. That's what we do on this channel. Master out, what am I going to do with the old one? I can pass it along to anyone that is comfortable or confident with being able to figure out a potentially backlight issue. And I'm pointing to backlight because the videos and stuff that I watched on diagnosing the issue just said, here's a really, really quick flashlight test. Where dark room, turn your monitor on, have something displayed to it, hold your flashlight up to the monitor, and if you see a ghost image, it's probably the backlight. And that's what I did, and I saw it. So I've kind of maybe narrowed it down, but that still leaves 4 places: the actual board itself, a resistor or more, a capacitor, or the actual backlight itself. But I've definitely taken it apart, made sure the connections are secure. And then when I plugged it back in after putting it back together, I had no extra pieces. So all of the screws were used. Hopefully they're all in the right place, but I'm pretty sure they are. All of the screws were used. And it turned on, but exhibited the same behavior. So I didn't make it any worse than it was. And what is this called? The bezel is still nice and solid on there. It's not like rattly or or loose in any places. So still a good screen. So advertise, advertise, advertise. If anyone is interested in a 27-inch, like I can find the actual monitor. It's 1080, just so you know. Monitor. Nope, wrong spot. Try again. Pasta. Search. Asus VS27 8Q-P. Copy. Damn, pasta. So it was the one that we were looking at. Interesting. We'll see it on their website. Probably safest. And actually, can I have a tab over here, please? Okay, thanks. Cookie settings. Reject all. Central only. Inactive. Shave. And I really like this monitor. I mean, I got 2 of them and I've been using them since I got them. It will be nice to have a UHD monitor for a while. I was actually considering only getting something like the X-Ro glasses or Lenovo Think Reality. But I have a HoloLens. I could just wear that. There was an issue with the flashy light on my HoloLens though. But I did learn that there's something I could do with the camera to maybe reduce the flashy light. The IR beam thing. Yeah, there. So if anyone is interested in this monitor, contact me on Discord. We can arrange some stuff. It's supposedly like a $10 fix that I don't know how to do myself. Okay, that's it. Back to the project. So we've been working on redesign. For those of you new here, this is the Stream project. Feel free to check it out on GitHub. It is open source. We're redesigning it, and we're currently on an idea on an idea board called Finan Man Redesign. Okay, so we need to navigate to the payment data entry. Click on Add Account button, which I'm gonna pull in a picture of it and put it right there to add a new financial account. So the picture. Actually, can I just copy this? Are you an SVG? Oh, you are a Unicode character. Very nice. Paste it right in. Ah, and it's white. How do I change text color? Text. How do I change text color? Oh, it's right above it. I see. Here. Huh? Interesting. Can I have this again, please? Let's go to something like Notepad. Pasta. Oh no, Notepad doesn't know that symbol. How about Visual Studio? then can we paste? Ah. Pasta. Oh, it's still white. Why are you still? Paste it as its own text box. Wow, maybe the Unicode character itself is white only. What? Doesn't even take font color? Weird, man. Fill in the required information. Click save. To update, there is no update. Nor remove. Is that true? So we have our accounts here. They are listed. And we don't have a way to update nor remove the actual accounts. I'm going to put a slash or closing. Save. All right, areas for improvement. Complex, time-consuming process. Of course it is. You have to add them yourself. That's the point of this app. That's on purpose. That's by design. Lack of instructions is good. Inefficient user interface is good. Lack of account management functionality. Cannot update existing accounts. Cannot remove or close existing accounts. And so the difference between remove and close is that when you close an account, you're still tracking it. It's just not visible. But you zero out the account and you aren't adding or removing any more money from it. So it's not available in your drop-down list. However, you can still see historical information about those accounts. Removing, hopefully I said that's close. Removing is when you're actually taking that account and all of the data associated with it out of your database, which rarely would happen. We currently do have a soft delete implementation for the other account items or lookup items. Oh. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Okay, so that's areas for improvements. Redesign suggestions. Okay, so once again, this is what the application looks like. This is the landing page. This should be socials and contact is what should go here. But right now I just have a printout of an issue that I was running into with displaying date in various languages, because that's a major issue that I'm working on with my actual job, my day job. And of course, if you do have any questions or any other side comments that you want to talk about, mention, feel free to say anything you feel like related to this channel's content, and we can discuss it. This is a stream project that we're doing for fun, so don't feel like you're interrupting. Enjoy your time here. The end. That's our stream. Goodbye. No, I'm kidding. We need to actually build out the about page where you're going to get information about the company. Actually, no, there should be information about the app, not the company. But I guess there could be a section for information about the company too. But then there should be something about this app and how to use, and troubleshooting, tips and tricks, blah, 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 FAQs, and then an actual contact form. Fill that in. so that if you have questions about how to use the app, blah, 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 blah. Again, this is not a real app, although I am trying to develop it as if it were a customer product, a client project. So we will still be building up all of those things as if they were going to be the for real, for real. I don't know why I have core values in here. That should really be something else. I don't know what to put there yet. So that'll be part of the design. So anyway, that's what we currently have. Login form. Again, don't know if we need a login form or not. The information that's on the landing page should be updated. The calculator functionality should be moved somewhere more appropriate. But we do have a calculator in the app so that as you're putting in information, you could just do calculations and stuff. And then be able to use that in your data entry portions. So we need to come up with a good place to put the calculator launcher icon. So with that in mind, feel free to throw out any ideas you might have for how to redesign the UI for the financial management tracker. I guess for those of you that don't know, I think I brushed across it, but this is intended for you to manually enter financial transactions that you have against various accounts that you want to track. For example, if I'm tracking my checking account and I buy something using my checking account, I would have the receipt in hand, have an email receipt, whatever the case is, and then transfer the information visually from that receipt and then type it into this system manually, add my line items, submit it to whichever account is being affected, and then it gets added to my transactions list. My account balances get updated immediately. Same thing with getting money from an external source to one of my tracked accounts. That's a deposit, and then transfers money from one of my tracked accounts to another one of my tracked accounts. So that's what all of this is about. Manually tracking your finances. There are already existing applications out there that will connect to your financial institutions and summarize all of your information for you, do the charts, do the graphs, do all the pretty things. And this is not that app. This is for you to manually track your spending and savings. Bye-bye. Next, please. Next, please. All right. So, any ideas? Any thoughts? Anything at all? One thing that I didn't mention was move the calculator launcher where appropriate. Brainstorm and propose redesign suggestions. Revamped landing page with relevant information. So I guess it's more because like revamped landing page is a little too generic for me. So it's probably update landing page cards with relevant information. More relevant information? Actual content? Instead of placeholders. What else? ¿Qué más? We can restyle the landing page layout. Select better colors, or should I say colors? Color scheme and or theme picker. And más. Let's continue. Excuse me, you there. Can we add one below? Thank you. So we know the landing page needs a revamp. We know the data entry pages need better styling. So when I came up with the designs for the actual data entry pages, they do look cleaner, but I still don't like their layout. So there's got to be a better way to lay out our data entry pages with the transaction history grid and the account overview. Yeah. So I'm going to put those as separate items. Revamp data entry forms. We'll do data entry layout. And then the forms. I like how that one didn't stay aligned with the rest of them. Revamp the transaction history grid. And I say revamp, is there a better word that I should be using there? Redesign. Revamp the account summary layout. Refresh. Refresh is a good word. Well, maybe. Because like refresh the transaction history grid kind of tells me that there's an action where I need to tell this thing to reload somehow, refresh the data. Yeah, F5. Control F5 is even better. Control Shift R. They're all refresh. I don't know. Refresh just sounds refreshing, obviously. So I don't know. I like it. We want it to look fresh. I think Alt F4 is the one to refresh your page. I think so too. Okay, so that is this page. What about the navigation for this page? Like this is by design. This is my actual original design for how to switch between whether you're entering payment data, deposit data, or transfer data. Do we keep this? Is it an okay way to get around? Or should I make that another item that could be improved? Yeah, exactly. What if I want the application on my mobile PC? So that needs to be one of these brainstorm items. So that's this optimized layout for mobile. That's a good one. Deployment process, not really into that. So this is all about the UI and UX. So we haven't gotten to deploying the app anywhere. But if you're just asking in general, we currently don't have a deployment process. This will need to be hosted if we were actually deploying this as a real application. This would need to be hosted somewhere since it connects to a backend. The front end and the back end don't have to be hosted on the same service. I could have containers for the front end and they just communicate to an API backend. I could have containers for the back end and have a distributed API if I wanted to. We would just need to make sure that concurrency isn't an issue. And whatever it's called when you have duplicate cache data available. So like Redis, or not Redis, I don't know what it's called, but anyway, where you have the up-to-date information available in all of your containers without needing to go back every single time to get refresh data. So whatever caching mechanism is needed, whatever authentication mechanism is needed, but we aren't doing any of that at the moment. The easiest way for me to deploy an app like this with not many users is just to have an RDS or some kind of database backing, and then a what's it called in AWS? Elastic Beanstalk app to serve the app that can be put on a load balancer and have multiple instances of it. And then the backend could be a Lambda, or it could be an Azure App Service, or whatever. I'm trying to create my invoicing app. Just wanted to get this client experience out of my system. Hello, Xcoding. So yeah, absolutely. You have a lot of options for an application where you're presenting some kind of UI that has data entry that you are sending somewhere. It could be fully server-based. This entire app could be server rendered, because the thing that you really care about for SEO is your landing page and all of the public content. You don't have to do SEO for your core application. You could have all of your landing page, your about us, your what does this app do in static web apps, or you could have all of that in server rendered pages. And that way you get picked up by search engines, you have all of the right meta tags, everything is there. But as soon as you start getting to, here's now my application running, you've signed in, you're running the app, that could be on a completely different system. Your front end is provided by WebAssembly, or it could be Blazor server whole completely if you wanted. Blazor web app, of course, is what I'm talking about, where you can have your landing page and all that stuff be server rendered. And then your actual core application be WebAssembly, maybe started off as Blazor server until the WebAssembly runtime is downloaded. Brain stall. And then you can switch over to WebAssembly the next time they launch that page or whatever part of the app they're in. It's going to be great. We are going to do that though. We're going to do make our landing page in any of our static rendered pages. So in this landing page, there are these cards where you can get more information about the app. There's a connect or contact us type of thing. There is a about the company, about the application itself, sitemap. All of that stuff could be server rendered or even static. And then once you click on whatever mechanism we use to get to the data entry, that's when it switches over to Blazor WebAssembly. Unless Blazor WebAssembly isn't available, then use Blazor server first. Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And we can start next week even. But I'd rather continue with our redesign first and get through all of this. And then we can start implementing some of that. But I'm so excited for .NET 8. It's going to be hard to wait. Where can I read this? So about our app specifically, or about how the new Blazor web app template works? I'm trying to find this one. Not that one. I'm trying to find. Oh. Where is that Dan? Here's a YouTube video for it that will explain it. So this is Dan Roth. Yeah, so this is a good talk about all of the things that I just talked about with Load some pages as static, load some pages as server rendered, load some pages as Blazor WebAssembly if it's available. If not, do server first. So this is a great talk. If you want to read about it, he actually has a blog article that details this. I just can't find that link. Blazor Web App .NET 8 to 12. This one. But this is all .NET 8 updates that he talks about. .NET Core specifically, or not .NET Core, ASP.NET is what I meant to say, because it's all .NET Core now. So ASP.NET, here's a blog if you prefer reading. But this is the thing that I posted earlier is the video version. And then there are tons and tons and tons of other resources where they're talking about these changes specifically. This was a great stand-up. I really, really liked it, this one. He pretty much talked about a lot of the same stuff he talked about in that first video that I posted, but just in case you're interested in this one too, I found it to be helpful. Not that share. Good times though. And I think that was the one where Patrick God was featured. I think they were just about to get to it. So if you're interested in that video that they're about to recommend just before I stopped it, that is this one from Patrick God, where he goes through all of the render modes, all of the combinations of it. All right. So we also talked about, so definitely getting this to work better for mobile would be fantastic. We have a way to make a mobile native app using Maui, using the exact same UI that we're already using. So that would be tons of fun. Wasn't there something else that I mentioned just before that too? Getting actual content. Thank you, Stream Elements. If you're wondering where I got some of those resources, we actually have a resources and stuff channel on our Discord server. There are a million Discord servers out there, so if you are kind of, server fatigued, you definitely don't have to join our server. There isn't too much activity on it. We do have a lot of really cool people on there, though, that are willing to help out. They don't berate people for asking questions, which is one of the things that I love the most. If you have newbie questions, they're treated just as importantly as if you have a very complex, hard to solve. Anyone would get stuck on this kind of question. List management was the other one. Info, improve list management layout. And that's pretty vague. I don't like putting vague things up, but this is just a brainstorm board. I guess we could have been going out this way more. Okay, does anyone have any other possible suggestions? Or how we can improve our UI? Navigation, that was the other one. So I asked if this is a decent approach for navigation on desktop, at least. Mobile, we might have to think about it a little harder. Is this really a good way to switch between what type of data you are entering? What? So improve the data entry selection navigation. Again, pretty generic, pretty general. Would be nicer to come up with something more specific, but brainstorm. Doesn't have to be specific. What else do you have us do on this? Just brainstorm ideas. Brainstorm and propose redesign suggestions to address the identified areas for improvement. That's a lot of areas for improvement. What's next? Simplify transaction form. I think this might be the result. Nope. This is still part of the same first three cards. I don't know what these are called. Lanes, I guess. So in Mural, you have things called lanes where you take care of each lane and you spend like 10 to 15 minutes on each one of them and then some discussion time afterwards with the team. So that's kind of what these are. So anyway, these first three lanes were generated. Once again, I want to make it clear, this stuff was initially generated from AI using their tool in FigJam. And I gave it a prompt that said a redesign for, pretty much this exact sentence that it has here, a UI redesign for financial management tracker. And then I explained what the financial management tracker should do, or currently does actually. And then the fact that we need to refresh the UI. I like that word refresh more and more now that I keep saying it. Thank you, Tyron. It's a good word. It's a really good word. So I generated this, and then I kind of remember giving it another prompt to see if it would actually create some sketches for us, which is what we're going to be doing in here using the components that we created over the past few streams. But first, coming up with a good design thought process, I think it's a good starting point. And that's what this is helping us do. So here we go. Brainstorming financial account management. Generate ideas for improving the UI of the financial management functionality. So that's the account management part. So account management is specific to when you're going to create a new account that you want to track. Right now we have one place where you can click on this little button with the wafer or target or whatever. Fill in this information, and then it shows up in this list. But there's no way to edit it, and there's no way to mark it as closed and or delete it entirely, it and all of its transactions. So I think maybe that's this part. To edit existing accounts. Close. This means keep it in the database, allow us to see history, but no longer offer it as a selection in the account dropdown. Drop down. No or display in account summary. That kind of thing. What else? Add ability to delete an existing account. This means remove the account and all of its related transactions. Is there a way to add like another kind of call out? That's what I'm looking for. Do you guys have a call out? And I don't know what it would be. Not a template. I don't know. Oops. We'll just use this color with this, this. Can I modify how round you are? I wanted to make a squircle, but it gave me 2 rounded of corners. Can I rotate? Yeah, we can rotate. Haha. Okay, need to figure out what to do with deleting an account involved in a transfer. So, for example, let's say that I had transferred money from my checking to my savings, but I am going to delete from this system the my savings account. And so a transfer has saving. I'm pretty sure that I've done that. Well, let's just do it now. Okay, so today, 13th of November, 2023, we're going to transfer. I mean, look, we do have it. Where is this value? Here, I just didn't give it a memo. Why wouldn't I give it a memo? Anyway, let's say that we are now going to delete the my checking account, and there's still a transfer from my checking to my savings. Do I now turn that into a deposit into my savings from an external source? And then that external source would need to be added as a payee. No, not as a payee. Added as whatever we get in here. So what do deposits look like? Where's regular paycheck? Right here. Yeah, so the payee is actually the source. So that's kind of confusing, isn't it? This should not be called payee. There's something that we can work on. Clarify column names in transaction history. E.g., payee is not always the payee. Hello, Broken Sword. Holy cow, how have you been? I hope you are well and things are going great for you. In the case, or see a deposit. Regular paycheck is the payee. Oh man, thank you so much, Broken Sword. You definitely do not have to do that, but Oh, the fact that you did makes my heart happy. Anyway, thank you so much for 29 months in a row. So even though you haven't been able to be active here, you've still been supporting me in your way, and I really, really, really appreciate that. You're an amazing person. If you guys don't know Broken Sword, every now and then, once in a very, very, very long blue moon, he will stream. He'll do some gaming. He'll kick some butt. So I'm still going to do a shout out for you. He's redoing the Twitch alert Discord thing. Okay, he's also the one that did our Discord bot for us. I cloned it and I was getting ready to start working on it, and then other stuff came up and I ended up not working on it at all. I thought that I would have time to. The furthest that I got was recreating the project as a Blazor. Or not recreating, integrating the existing code into my Twitch bot. Hush stomach. So then I would be able to manage both the Discord bot and the Twitch bot from the same Blazor app. But I haven't even improved my Twitch bot at all. It's still at the same state that it was the last time that we looked at it. I was starting to try to add in some functionality to be able to add and remove commands from the UI. And then you can see up here, I also capture whenever a redeem happens. Man, I can word, can't I? So whenever a redeem happens, we should see it somewhere. Was that? I think this is the one that I should play. Anyway, I was seeing when redeems happened. But right now I'm only getting the most recent chat. That's annoying. I could have sworn I saw redeems up there. But anyway. So as soon as I get redeems, then we can add some more interactivity. In one of our most recent streams, we talked about maybe adding a drop game of our own, where you're pretty much standing on a high diving board and there's a target underneath you and you tell it what velocity, and what velocity includes direction. So what speed and what direction to do your initial launch off of, and you're trying to land on it. And there you go. And it's API based, no longer Azure Functions based. Cool. Do you have something like a SignalR backend or something? Or is it only just sitting there listening for API requests and then responding to them? Yeah, I don't know how that works. You're going to use an Azure Service Bus. And look at this. Guys, do you see this? This is a README with content on it. People don't even get this far. Gotta love it. All right, so we aim to create a seamless integration between Twitch alerts and various services like Discord. Cool. So this could also be your own Twitch bot that you want to get events from, or to, whatever the word is. Real-time notifications for Twitch events. Support multiple services like Discord, Slack, Teams, etc. You want it to be easy to set up and customize. You can build it with .NET Core. Using at minimum, .NET 6. Twitch account with developer. Discord bot token. Additional service specific requirements. Oh, you can turn these into links too. But yeah, if you want to do Discord, then you go to Docs. Twitch to Discord, docs Twitch to Slack. I don't see the docs folder. Must be blind. Is it a separate branch? I have an entire docs repo, not docs, but docs. Anyway, documentation repo for each of my projects in Azure DevOps. Just because it was easier to do the wiki that way. But yeah, anyway, I don't know where the docs folder is. Where's the docs folder? Where's the docs folder? Doesn't exist yet. Doesn't exist yet. That's fine. I forgive you. Oh, stop it, mustache. You're tickling my nose. Okay, so Broken Sword is saying, so far I have my own CI/CD Azure DevOps, and it will have its own dedicated server using MSDN account with the $150 credit. That's cool. We definitely don't have to use your credit for using this on my Discord server. We can definitely put it on mine, which also has the however many credit thing. My ultimate goal was to use a Saga transaction library to interface with the ChatGPT API that will generate a unique, cool message every time you go live. Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. I think it would be very cool. Of course, right now, one of the most known among our community streamers that uses AI with his bot is Setolix. Anyway, however it's pronounced. So seeing the things that he's done, there are also ideas that I've thought of that we could do as well as along with. Anyway, it'd be fun. But yeah, moving on. And then have an interface. It's API based, no longer Azure Functions based. So I was going to use an Azure Service Bus. Yeah, the thing that I'm curious about is how does it continue to listen for Twitch events and then broadcast those events if it's just an API service? So when I think of an API service, I think, hey server, give me all of the possible commands I could use. There you are. I have it now. But I don't get real-time live updates. So I added a new message using a different client. It doesn't update here unless I say, hey API server, give me the updated list. So when an event happens, oh, you know what? It's probably that I'm not actually logged into the redemption version. Anyway, when an event happens, in fact, because I scrolled, how does the client get notified? So in this case, how does Discord get notified? No, question one was, how does your app get notified that there was a Twitch event? And then on top of that, I can understand how your app would then send a message to Discord using the token and all of that stuff, using Discord's API. Yeah. And look, I just got disconnected. Why? Because I was showing it on stream and it's like, oh, get me off camera. Poop. So anyway, those are my questions. Basically a message, so this is probably the answer. Basically a message is sent to an API. The API pushes it through the bus. An API consumes that message, then sends a request. I get that part. Oh, but this is specifically your ChatGPT thing. Okay. to ChatGPT API for a custom message alert based on history, then responds back. I'm mostly using the technology I use at work, so I get more proficient in it. That's perfect. And it's awesome that you're choosing to do that with something that can help out this stream. I really appreciate it. You definitely don't have to use time on it for that. If you want to use it on different things, I understand. Also, I'm using ARM templates to deploy the resource, just using fun stuff. What does not exist yet? Question man. Okay. So an API gets a webhook notification. So when you spin up your API to begin with, that's the thing that's registering to Twitch and saying, I want you to give me messages. Dukasoft, thank you so much for the resub. 24 months, 2 whole years. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, so it's essentially the same approach that I'm using here, where my API backend, as soon as it spins up, which is a Windows service at this point, by the way, as soon as it spins up, it says, Twitch, I want to connect to you. Please send me any messages that happen. For example, Dukasoft saying, Irish Jitsu, Irish Jasmug, Irish Japoop flag. Hope you're having a great day so far, Dukasoft. The problem that happens with this, though, is if I leave my client running, which my client just says connect to Signal R backend, or communicate with the backend using Signal R, so that when the API backend, my client, my worker service, this could be deployed to a server if I wanted to. So that will stay open for as long as my client is open. The thing that happens is, hi mom. The thing that happens is the backend client will get disconnected from Twitch. I don't know why, I don't know how. So I often have to restart the service in order for it to actually get reconnected to Twitch. And I don't know if that's an API timeout because there are no Twitch events coming through to it, or what. I don't know what else it is. We got a dad joke. A beekeeper was indicted after he confessed to years of stealing at work. They charged him with embezzlement. That one was kind of weak. Dad joke API. That one was kind of weak. You have some good ones, but that one's just not great. So anyway, that's just my thought on that. It is possible that the API sitting there without activity could spin down still, maybe. And then there needs to be an easy way for you to reestablish the Twitch connection to say, hey, start listening again. And oh yeah, the other thing that I thought was, this is my Twitch bot. So maybe what's happening is my Twitch bot gets logged out of our channel's chat after some amount of time, or kicked out of our channel's chat. Again, I'm the backend for this is running locally on this computer, and it's running 100% as a worker service. Which is just the hosted API backend from a Blazor WebAssembly project. The executable for it, so running in Kestrel. So sometimes it has to restart. And BitDogga. FigJam Dogwave. All right. But yeah, guys, check out his thing. Are you open? Did you open this for contributions? Like, are you asking people to contribute still? I know you have done in the past, but I am interested. I just really, I would really like to contribute more. Open for all. Man, so nice of you. I love us. Here is the work I did so far on trying to bring the other branch. I mean, is this the same one that you pointed me to before when I asked you about it? Yeah, probably. Here's me trying to break up the Discord bot, or trying to integrate the Discord bot into my full Twitch bot so that it has both the Discord functionality and the Twitch functionality. But you said you went away from using app functions. So then I was trying to split out the core elements of your Discord bot, and actually the core logic, not just the models. Does this have logic in it? No, they are just DTOs. It's the name of the folder, man. Of course they're just DTOs. He knows how to structure his apps. So even the API itself, yeah, here, key loader service, I would have put this in core. The core implementation of it, essentially. And anything that the app did, I was trying to split out or extract into this core project. And that way, we just have a class library that has all of the functionality that you can shove wherever, and then you can put whatever API on top of it or other approach. And that way, this thing is just a dumb thing that when you call a controller endpoint, it forwards the request to your service, and that's it. I tend to extract too much, so please, I love getting advice from more simpler and cleaner project structures. I mean, you know that that's just my opinion on it, my preference even, where anything that is an implementation gets its own library. So all of my abstractions are in their own library called shared. So this is my models, my abstractions, my interfaces, and then the actual implementations are in separate libraries. And that can be used regardless of if you're using an API for your backend, if you're using a server rendered host as your backend, doesn't matter. The class library is the only thing that matters. Taking this thing and putting your own UI on top of it, hosting it wherever you want to host it. Dukasoff said, I did have a look. Oh, I missed it. I haven't had time to restart mine yet. Just saying. Restart your bot? I did have a look. Didn't understand much. It's a me problem. Looks at own apps. What structure? Be kind to yourself, Digasoft. I'm sure you have project structure. I saw you peeking. I think. I want to clean up the README. Yeah, I mean, I still like that you have a README and it has some information at minimum. Very, very appreciated. Okay, but this was a new project not the one that I cloned to get this stuff. Do you think it's far enough along that if I started trying to extract from this one, I would be able to see the Twitch bot or the Discord bot integrated with my Twitch bot? Because what I'm essentially wanting to do is put a dashboard on top of the Discord bot. I know you have one from that other project. Yeah, I don't know what else to say from there. Point is, you've been doing a lot for us, and I know you have limited time, and it is super duper appreciated. Mostly I just have the piping set up, but yes, I want a new dashboard, and I want to use Azure AD to allow users to log in and stuff. A dashboard bot. Yeah, and we can actually do some real design on it too. So if you didn't hear earlier, Broken Sword, the thing that I'm trying to improve myself, since I've been doing a lot of UI work with my day job, is my UI UX design ability. Like, I can implement just about any design within reason. Yeah, I'll stick with that. I'm gonna leave it at that and take it with a grain of salt, because not 100% accurate, and I want to just qualify it, justify it. But anyway, I'm pretty good at implementing UI design. Creating the UI design is hard for me, so I'm trying to develop skills in that, and the way that we're doing it is we're taking the existing state of the financial management application and redesigning it. And I started off by creating a bunch of components that I knew we would be using throughout the design. And now we're coming up with using FigJam. I wanted to learn how FigJam worked to brainstorm ideas, to come up with better designs, etc. And it's kind of working. Kinda. I totally skipped this column, didn't I? Wow. Did I tell this thing? Did I tell this thing anything about my payment entry form? I don't remember prompting this thing with the fact that I have this information, essentially. I mean, we don't have category. This is currently account that we are paying from. I kind of want to keep that, but also add. The transaction? The. Just to use the same wording that they have. Wow, that's really cool. Can we move these around? Oh, this tool is really cool. Anyway. So Broken Sword says, anyways, I will work on it some more, and I will post on the README how to get started if anyone wants to contribute in our projects section. Yeah, I want to maybe add a command that will shout out the other community effort project thing. That'd be super duper beneficial and helpful. Okay, anyway, let's read through this one to see if there are any tweaks, any more tweaks to make to this lane. So simplified transaction form. Revamp the transaction form to make it more user-friendly and intuitive. Follow these guidelines. Remove unnecessary fields to reduce clutter. Yes. Group related fields together. Yes. Clear and concise labels. Yes. I think the main issue with our transaction form is that it doesn't look separate from other stuff. So it's like, maybe. How about that? Make the data entry form stand out from the rest of the UI elements. Dukasoft is now lurking. You've been so helpful adding a lot of really good commands to my stream elements. Yeah, take your time, broke a sword. I mean, if you take too much time, I'll be gone because I'll be stopping in about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. Can I put this a little bit further over here? Yeah, like that. That way I can add something to the right. No! Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you for saying that. And I am just really glad that you are a better dev. It's your own work that you put into it. I'm glad I could contribute a little bit, but it's all you. All you. I don't like its position. It's bothering me. Go there. Yeah, I don't like that. Go back over here. Can I make it smaller? Shorter? There. I still don't like that. Whatever. Who cares? What else do we need to do with the account management? So again, remember that the account management is the portion that will allow us to tell which accounts we want to show up in the account summary. Oh yeah. Maybe we want a hide functionality where we haven't closed the account, so it's still tracked. We can still choose it to add and remove, or to do payments from, deposits from, transfers from and to. Deposits to is what I meant to say. But we just don't want to see it in our account summary list. Whoa, got dizzy. Okay, which could also mean hiding it from this list, so they just don't show up. And this could be something like cash, for example. Like maybe you don't do anything meaningful with cash. Maybe you just say, I did an ATM withdrawal. And instead of making that a payment, it's still a transfer from whichever account to cash. And then maybe you do some kind of reconcile cash after some amount of time. Again, that's not really meaningful. It's just you do a payment from cash to empty it out or to set it to a specific value because that's how much you currently have. But you're not actually tracking the things that you've purchased with just cash. I think that makes sense. ¿Qué más? What else? Oh. I'll just move you. Oh my gosh. Don't be a pain, okay? There you go. Okay, man, it got dark in here. You guys can't see it because the monitor is just blowing out my face, but it got super dark. I like it. It's because the sun was right there when I started my stream. So I closed the blinds and now it's moved over there. Just like that. What else? What else can we do to improve the account management part? We can edit the details of the account. Maybe we want to split out. I keep wondering about this. Do we want to split out the starting balance? I think I've asked about this before, but I can't remember what the answer is. Is starting balance for an account an actual transaction that gets set? Because right now we're doing something weird for that. When you create a new account, if you provide a starting balance, it creates a deposit action or a payment action if it's a credit card or something that says, start with this amount on this date, essentially. So that when it does the math to calculate what our current balance is, what our current pending balance is, and what our adjusted balance is, it knows where to start. But the question is, should the starting balance be a part of the account table instead of a transaction? Or should I just leave it as is, which is it's currently a transaction? Oh, the weird thing about doing that is there is a deposit reason type called starting balance that if it's not there, I think it tells it to create it. Yeah, and it's currently in the drop-down list in order for you to be able to create a new starting balance record if you create the account and then don't add a starting balance initially. And then you're like, oh wait, this thing should have started at $500, 500 monetary units. So I guess that's an opinion. A decision that would need to be made. And the thing that would also change is the way that we do the calculation for the current balance is, well, I guess we wouldn't even need a starting date. But anyway, the way that we would calculate our current balance is first you get the starting balance from the account table, and then you do all of your adding deposits, subtracting payments. And then the other question that I have that is opinion based is, does it make sense to put the credit card balance as a positive number? So my current credit card balance is 2,376.82 monetary units credited to my account. So I need to pay that back from another account. Is that negative to me? Because to the account, it's positive, I think. And then payments to it are negative. So anyway, that's a thought. Also, are you Monday, Wednesday, Friday currently? Yes, I am currently only Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I love that I just lost connection to that remote computer that I was talking about that I told the person I'd be back to at 12:30 my time, which is like in 3 minutes. It's great. But yes, I'm currently only Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think Dukasoft gave us a schedule. Yeah, thank you, Dukabot. But anyway, that just takes you to Twitch, to my schedule on Twitch. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. It works very similar to the way that mine does, which is there is a connection to Twitch that happens on start. It would be down here in shared server, bot. Yeah, so on start, it says, let's set up using TwitchLib. Let's set up a connection to Twitch chat client. And then we log into chat using a different account, a moderator account, essentially. And then are you using SignalR? So I am using SignalR in my bot for my echoing to here, but you don't need SignalR for the Twitch client. You use whatever they use in the TwitchLib. So TwitchLib gives you some events that you can subscribe to, and then when those events happen, then your bot will process that command, for example, like if it's a chat command. For example, on reward redeemed. So here's an example of having a reward redeemed on your channel. What do you do with it? And here I am sending a message via SignalR to my client that's listening. So not the Twitch client, but my personal client for this project. What were the resources for this? Just the docs? Yeah, for me, it was, I started with Fierce Kitten's Twitch client. This one. Or I don't know where the actual URL to her GitHub project is for it, but I started with hers, learned from it, read the TwitchLib docs, and then started tweaking it from there, customizing it, making it my own until I understood it more. And now I'm going to revamp it and make it the way that I would have had I known how it worked, which now I do. So that's fun. But we can definitely go over it sometime on stream. If you ever do have time again to hop on back by. But for now, I need to get back to work. I have some troubleshooting, some debugging to do with Windows 11 SE. But yeah, there's absolutely no issues with taking detours on stuff relevant to our stream. I don't have a work product that I'm trying to work on during the stream. Yeah, fun times, great times. But yeah, thank you all for being here. I will be back again on Wednesday. I'll post a copy of this video to the YouTubes no sooner than 24 hours after I end the stream, but you can always use Twitch to rewatch the VOD immediately after. We're going to raid out to one of our bestest friends ever, who's currently on his loading screen. Big Gamey, amazing human. If you don't know him, definitely give him a follow. We're gonna hang out with him, chill with him. I'll be lurking on his channel while working, as I always do. That's what I do. And yeah, until the next time, feel free to join our Discord. If you're part of too many Discords, don't worry about it. I understand, but the invite is there. All right, ciao for now. Hasta luego. Miércoles, actually.